are recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our artist talk for this week. I know it's been sort of a while since we've had one. I personally have been busy with just finishing my VCA residency, the auction, and just wrapping that up. But now that's done, and we're back making artist talks and talking to great people and great friends. And now the cool thing is we actually in this talk and on the future talks is going to be really cool because we are now in what people call a bear market. So the artists we talk to are the ones that are actually going to stay. And so I'm very excited for this. And with me today, I have a great friend who I met through Andreas, for those who don't know, because he added me to a group chat. And ever since I saw his work, I was like, yo, we need to talk for the Meta crew, for Metakey, just for myself. And so with me today, I have Bruno Vista. Yo, Bruno, how are you doing?
Hey Anubis, thank you for having me on. Yeah, what's up? I'm doing good.
And for those who don't know you, who is Bruno, the artist? Quickly, if you want to give like a little intro about yourself.
I'm just getting into the space, just a traditional artist, and getting to know some of the people currently in the space way before any of this stuff really popped off. Uh, and slowly like moving my way into digital work and getting comfortable with all the people in this space now, and just recently moving to Twitter. I think it's been three and a half months since I'm on here.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm a Canadian artist. you know
We share. For those who don't know, we share sort of the same country in living. So you're in Minnesota. I don't. Do you want to
I'm
say
in
where you are?
Alberta.
You're in Alberta. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, Alberta, the land of the cold. It's so cold.
yeah. Yeah, it's actually, you know what, I mean, because I used to live in Ontario.
Mm.
I would say Ontario is like way grayer. um it's maybe even colder. It's a bit like London type vibes, like just kind of gray all the time and cloudy.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Like, man, it's just also like, man, Canadian weather just needs more sun, bro. Like, it desperately needs
Right.
more sun. So, like, for those who don't know, like, I recommend going to Bruno's Twitter. It's down in the description and looking at his work. You'll see the work in the screen. Because I've probably selected three works to display. But man, I've always been really curious because like Dre adds me to this group chat and I start going through the artists and then I click on your profile and I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this? What are these grids, bro? What are you doing with these figures? And then I zoom in and I'm just like, holy shit. This is really great work. And I was just really curious, like, we'll also delve into your like physical stuff later because he does do physical stuff. But like
Sure, yeah.
how did you get to that sort of dude? Because like that shit's fucking wild.
I feel like the story changes quite often because I just remember new things. But like what happened is I was, doing the traditional side, doing commissions and all that kind of stuff, and I had to pick up a job at a factory. It was like 12-hour days, a couple days. It was like 3, 4 days a week. And I had no time. Anything I did besides work was just painting. I have a garage here, so that's kind of like my, ghetto studio kind of thing. But
Mm.
uh, I don't know. I just kind of like started, when I'm at work, I was like daydreaming, whatever. And then I just kind of, I don't know if this is like a common thing that artists do, but we just kind of, if we're like looking at something, we just try and like break it down into, visual ideas.
Mhm.
Uh, and I've been thinking about it for a while. Like, we're even right now we're talking over a phone. We can't see each other, but we watch movies. You can read books. You can watch a movie that'll change your life in some way, and it's actually just pixels on a screen. You don't see it in front of you. So like these kind of ideas are just bouncing around my head while I'm working for like 12 hours a day.
Mm.
And I was like, why am I thinking about just this? I thought maybe it's something to do with my art. Like maybe I need to express something. So I opened up Photoshop and I made, the first grid piece. That's kind of like what I call it now. It's just like grid style.
Mhm.
Uh, so it was like the first grid piece, and it just felt like really good. It felt right. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna post it, see what people think, and yeah, it's just kind of gone from there.
Dude, I know I really love zooming on in on the grid pieces just because like like you've probably seen this, right? Where somebody discovers what glitch art is, and then they're
Yeah.
like, "Yo, I'm gonna do glitch art," and then they start to glitch it out in like the same way everybody glitches it out, and you're like, "All right, cool. Can we get something new, please?" Right? And then,
That yeah.
well,
It's like a huge inspiration. All that stuff. Like, I feel like I'm just moving it forward, and someone will do it the same thing in the future.
see, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Because like the one thing that caught me about the work, legitimately, right? And it's like, at least to me, it's like I guess like one of my artistic goals personally, right, is to understand the human figures in ways good enough that I'm able to abstract it enough, right? But it still reads very human in very sort of ethereal and like godlike or even like morphed ways, right? And then so like the first time I looked at your work, I'm like, hold on, hey yo, sir, why you gotta do this? 'Cause you just, man, like the figures that are, it's like one of like I really look at your work and it's like my favorite part about it is the sense of figures that always comes out, especially with the heavily sort of grid like abstracted pieces, just because like it's weird, right? Like it's you're using a very like defined medium, right? Like a very sort of closed off look of a medium due to the glitching and the cube and what it results in, right? Very sharp edges and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But then your figures are still flowing very nicely, and I'm just here like getting mad, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? Why?
No, I appreciate that. I honestly like I have almost like no answer or response to. It's just like it seemed like it was just the natural next. I don't post like a ton of my old traditional art, but I did all the crazy type of, and I don't even think it's like entirely worth it. But I did all the crazy like figure studies, like every artist does, drawing from life and color studies, all type of that. But just bringing that into this new medium, or I kind of wanted to limit myself somehow, and I thought that this, I have inspirations. Artists have done it in the past, like kind of like blocky or pixel styles. Um, but yeah, it was just like my way of communicating with that.
Man, it's like, yeah, you say like I've done this like old traditional style as if like, well, I was like seeing some of your recent stuff, like your dude, what is it, the astronaut piece, like that is,
Oh yeah,
dude, because it's like you're also learning from the digital, like fucking around with the digital stuff, and you started to apply that, like, back to physical paintings, which to me is crazy because like I still can't get myself, like, the way I looked at digital works, right, is like I can't digitally paint because I just cannot take the medium of digital painting seriously because I know what it's lacking, right? But the
yeah.
certain stuff that I would abstract in Photoshop and stuff, then I would get the inkling of like, oh, I need to paint that. But then what would come in my head is like, oh, my skill is not good enough to paint that, right? But then looking at your work, it's like you've done the practice enough and you've built your foundation enough to where now you're abstracting these things and then you can physically sort of execute them on a canvas or a panel, right? And also the craziest thing to me is like you're using fucking spray paint, bro. Like, damn.
Yeah. No, it's actually crazy how this medium has like changed my process. Because I've done it, like I was in that kind of world as well, like just the graffiti, whatever. But something that the medium is like it's so perfect,
Mhm.
right? Like it's like acrylic or latex or oil paints that dry like almost instantly. And when they don't dry instantly, you can almost like use them the way oils work, like mixing or whatever. But you're really limited because you can't mix colors unless you have that like going for you. But like the mixing process with spray paints is so interesting to me. you're like doing particles of different spray can colors over each other in the same place, and it creates like that pointillism kind of vibe
I see.
where it's like it's very dense.
Well, so do you have any like I know you said you've done the life drawing, but do you have any like traditional like school experience at all, like a BFA or anything, or just are you just purely self-taught?
No, like I actually failed my high school art class. Uh, you know,
Hey, ain't no
so
shame in
it
that,
just
dude.
didn't.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, like that's kind of a flex though, because like I'm looking at your work now and I'm like, damn, bro, it's like what? Okay, like you've actually we've had I had a similar experience with it with Tanya when we had her talk because she was like, "Oh, I started painting 3 years ago," and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like what? She's like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I just started painting 3 years ago." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go fucking
No,
fill my."
it's like a huge it's a piss off. We don't, I have the same. There's like one painter in the making it chat that like we're like the best, best homies, right? But they're like, yeah, I just kind of started, and I was like, oh, can I see like what your work was like right when you started? And it's like, it's what I strive in terms of abstraction. Um,
Wait, who
so
is
it's
it?
it's almost it's no Milo, Milo.
Oh, dude,
Uh,
he just started. Fuck. All
well,
right.
no, like just his like the work he had at in the beginning of his art kind of movement career, whatever, is just
Okay.
so like in terms of abstraction, so so incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some of his work insane. The whole making it shed is like an artistic sort of powerhouse that I didn't realize what
yes,
it is until like I started to talk to more people. I was like, hey, yo, whoa. These are people that know what they're doing, and it's, I mean, like, yeah, it's man, it's like, what is it? I really like your abstraction and like your digital works, and I really like your physical stuff too, right? And it's like, well, I'm curious, like, how long have you been painting? Because you said you failed your high school art class, but like, did you stop after that, or did you like continue and then just keep on working, or what happened?
it's crazy. I was on the pathway of becoming a like I really wanted to get into like neurology, neuroscience, or psychology.
Mhm.
And I was on that pathway. I went to UVic,
Mhm.
University of Victoria, and took their psychology program. Uh, but it's just even since I was a kid, like I knew something about the arts. I've been drawing for my entire life, uh, and I just kind of had to decide. I was like, okay, am I gonna do the 6 to 8 years in post secondary, or do I want to like really make this my life? And the answer after doing UVic or just certain classes, I was like, okay, it's definitely art for me. But
It's
yeah, it's been I'm 20 right now. It's been
you're what? Excuse me?
oh yeah,
You're
yeah,
20. Are you serious?
yeah,
Hey, yo, bro. Oh, the fuck me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, why you? Yo, okay, so you're like, okay, all right. Oh fuck, shit. I gotta get my shit good, bro. I need to start drawing. Fuck. 20.
You're
Oh my god. All right. Please continue, sir. I'm gonna fucking internally scream for 5 minutes. It's fine.
oh man.
Holy shit, dude. Wow. I I'm I'm very impressed, bro. Oh, wow. 20 with your
Damn.
okay.
I thought
Okay.
I thought it was damn. That's crazy.
Wait, you
uh,
thought wait, what did you think? Did you think, "Oh man, I'm not advancing fast enough?"
nah, nah. I just thought. well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, we can.
Dude, no, dude,
Yo,
you're
that's
you're advanced like pretty quick 20. Bro, I thought you were gonna be like 24, my age, a bit older. I'm like the way you make art, like it's like I was literally that's why I was like, yo, do you have like any fine art experience? Like I was literally gonna be like, oh, so like have you shown in galleries, man? And it's like, no, you're 20. Okay, all right, sir. Wow.
yeah. No, actually, I have. That's the crazy thing. I have not shown in. I would love to show. I'm in private collections, whatever. But I would love to
Mhm.
show um in a gallery because I just would love to see my work up in a space like that.
Well, yo,
So yeah, I'm excited for the making it show. I don't know if we can talk. Yeah,
I
we
oh
could
yeah,
definitely.
I'm pretty sure we can talk about it. Like there's a show being theorized by a group of great artists here. We'll keep it vague as shit. But Bruno's
Yeah,
in it
yeah.
and I am in it. But there's a show being organized for NFT NYC. More details will be released soon. Keep an eye out because like people will be blown the fuck away. But dude, you know what's crazy? You realize your first ever show is gonna be in fucking New York.
That's beautiful. That's just beautiful. I can't I can't expand on that much more than that.
Yo, oh my. All right. Okay. All right. And see, we've had a habit of talking to tournament masters who fight in their own tournaments for fun, and I realize I'm talking to another tournament master. All right,
Fire.
cool. It's like, all right, shit.
Yo, but Anubis,
What's
you're
up?
the master. Come on now.
Hey, no, thank you, brother. No, but it's just like, dude, I legitimately say, like, I'm very surprised because it's like, I sort of had a similar thing where I was really interested into psychology, and my mom was worried, right? Because like in grade 9, I took art classes, and then I
Yeah,
started to really like art classes, and then they became the only A's that I got.
yeah.
Like everything else was like C's and D's, bro. Right? Like
I,
maybe a B in history class because I really liked history, but then the rest, like all art classes were like A's, right? And then my mom would be like, "Yo, you're not money, bro. You might not make any money, bro." And I'm like, "I don't
yeah.
care. I want to draw art. Like the fuck, like Michelangelo painted a chapel, bro. Like I want to do that shit, art." And then,
Yeah. I
uh,
can relate
uh,
heavily.
yeah, did your was your mom like worried about like artistic creation as a career?
Yeah, bro, like I remember, it's like almost classic Canadian like news. I remember I wasn't watching the news, but it was like in the morning before me and my mom left.
Hmm.
And it was on the news. It was like these are the industries and like the average money you make. And like the bottom of the list was like
Oh,
arts and culture.
dude, yeah,
And
I see those all the time too, and they piss me the fuck off, bro.
yeah, and I just like at the time I didn't know how inaccurate. Like it's probably accurate in some ways, but it's like it's just not. It's like misleading.
Oh,
You know.
it's extremely misleading. Like, dude, I remember those articles like took an upturn when COVID started, specifically in Canada, and the joke
Yeah.
amongst artists was like the articles were using a diagram created by an artist telling us artists that our work is not valuable. It's like imagine like here's a little infamous session with like that Facebook art style, but
Yeah,
it's still an art style nonetheless. And like
for
literally
sure.
there was a meme where it's like y'all had to hire an artist to make this fucking diagram. What are you talking about? Like, and it's just man, is your mom sort of like happy now that that you're selling and you have
Yeah.
like oh yeah, I imagine.
Now it's different. Because in the start it was almost like the mom thing. Well, in
Hmm.
the very start, it's like you know it's gonna be very hard or impossible for you. Uh, and then it was like the mom like proudness kind of thing where it's like I'm proud. This is what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like following your dreams type thing. And then it's I was like, yo, mom, like my work is shipping to Europe or like New York. She's like, okay, that's cool. I'll see you next year. And then now it's different. like my mom like tries to give me ideas for paintings or how to show my work or something. So or like tries to uh, you know
Uh,
get me to sell paintings to her friends or something.
yeah, no,
So
it's yeah. My mom legit. My mom now is like, "Yo, you gotta show me more of your art." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right,
yeah,
ma, all right, I will." It's
yeah,
dude,
that's love.
it was yeah. It's and it's just like she's yeah. It's just like that parents worry and like, dude, she got so worried, but I was so happy
For sure.
because at some point I was like, do you know what an you probably know what an IB program is, right?
What is that?
An IB International Baccalaureate. Do you know what that is
Oh
at all?
yeah, yeah,
And so
yeah.
like my school had the last 2 years of high school essentially was IB. You could apply to be full IB or like you can take some courses. And like my grades were not high enough in anything except for art. So I was gonna apply for IB art and IB psych. And my mom was really banging on the IB psych. Right, like
Yeah,
she was like, "Yo, my boy's gonna be a psychologist, bro. Doctor. He gonna make money and shit." And
yeah.
I get the schedule choice one day and I see it and I'm like, hold on, IB Psych and IB Art are on the same time. Let me choose IB Art. My mom was like, hey yo.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
No, same thing. No, it's so interesting. Like the choice between art and then psychology, or like science that has to do with the brain or how we think. I think they're related. Don't you feel that they're like
Oh, absolutely.
very, yeah,
Like I was gonna say like it's both are sort of extremely sort of introspective in one sense
yeah,
and both also like require like some like they're both very creative fields and like
or-
because, like,
yeah.
dude, like, what is it? You probably hear us, me and Dre, talk about this all the time in our spaces, where it's like, like psychology and archetypes, and then like
Hmm.
with the
Yeah,
meaning of stories and all that. And like psychology is pretty much like not the meaning of stories, but like what is the meaning of this person? Let me break that down. What is instead of like describing to the person the story of Jesus, you're just trying to describe to the person the story of them in the best way you can to make them help themselves. And it's like, what do
yeah,
artists do? We show the like the shit we want to show to people to like give them some form of information. In some, it's like it's pretty much they both align very well, right? Where it's like now we also
yeah.
have art therapy, which I've never done, but I want to try.
No, yeah. There's like David Cho.
David, yeah,
Like he does art therapy and stuff and all that. But no, I've never tried it. Actually, I have like a friend who that's their career now is like art therapy. And they say it's like very healing for the people they work with.
I'd
You know.
imagine so, because like I mean, I've seen many of Shrink. Well, not many of Shrinks. That makes me seem that makes me sound like I'm fucking crazy. From the psychologist I've seen, uh, like a lot of the stuff where it's like write your emotions down, write what you feel, right? You can literally just be like draw your emotions, and it's 10 times better because drawing is far more expressive than just words, you know. And so like
Yeah.
it's stuff like that, and it just I mean it's I had a point and then my brain just blanked on it. I was gonna be like, there was something I want to talk because it's like, um, yeah, no, never mind. It's gone, brother. It's gone in the wind.
Damn, it just flew away.
It's gone.
I actually had a question.
What's up?
Like, have you? I'm not sure if have you like worked on music or anything. I just thought you might have. I
I
feel like your art.
like I fucking love music. My mom tried to get me to play piano when I was a kid, and I hated my teacher.
Okay.
But like music is just like I so like my dad's deaf. So it's I don't know how
Wow.
yeah, it's like one of those things where I think because of my dad being deaf and like having the experience of like talking to my dad and like
Yeah.
writing or raising my voice very loud, it just like I just now happen to like extremely just like fuck with music. Where it's like
Okay.
I I had a bass in Egypt and then my mom was like, "Yo, you can't take that shit to Canada." I was like, okay, I'll leave my base at home.
That's crazy.
Do you
Oh
play any
wait,
music?
sorry.
Oh,
Um, yeah. Well, just how long? Like, when did you move from
oh,
Egypt?
so
I
I
think you've.
came. Yeah, I came in 2016 for university,
Yeah.
pretty much. That was,
Wow.
yeah. My parents were like, well, my school was like, here, you're because my parents put me in an international school. Our school, like the school, made us apply to foreign universities, mainly in the States and Canada, or like anywhere. But it was just like mainly foreign universities. And then my mom was like, "You're gonna go to Canada because your aunt lives there." I was like, "Cool." And then
Wow. Okay.
18 just came here. I was like, "Yo, it's cold as fuck."
Wow. Okay. I see. Yeah. Um. Wow. So, and you haven't been back since.
No, I have not.
Okay. Do you have plans to go back or?
Oh yeah, I do. It's like I have to get some stuff set up first, but yeah, I have plans to go back and just like see family and also just like see Egypt, because like it's crazy. Like we used to have the saying where it's like Egyptians don't realize what Egypt has to offer until they leave the country, and like that's 100% true because like you're just living with the people, you don't realize like the history until you literally meet people that look at you with like extreme fascination that you're like, oh shit, there is some here. But yeah, are you are you born in Canada? Or
Born in Canada.
mhm.
But like my dad's Colombian and African, and my mom's from Uruguay or Uruguay. Uh,
Yo,
so like I've been to both. More recently I've been to Colombia. Uh,
dude,
but yeah.
nice. Yo, I mean, yo, you have like amazing food, amazing music, like
Oh,
amazing
100%.
culture, bro. Oh my god, shit.
Yeah. No, I wanted to go back. Literally, I wanted to go back last month, but I had to get some. Yeah, same thing. I just had to figure out some stuff, and it didn't work out. But yeah, I hope to go back by the end of this year. Uh, you know,
Dude, you have
my
this.
dad just built a
Your dad just what?
my dad just built his house in Colombia. Beautiful land, so I'm hyped to go see it.
Yeah, dude. What? Yo, now you just like my girl is from Venezuela, and so unfortunately we can't go visit.
Oh,
We
okay.
Yeah, we can't go visit Venezuela at the moment. But
Yeah.
like the way she describes it, I'm just like, I need to go there. Like I need to go see like Colombia, Venezuela. I need to go through all of just like South America and just like,
Yeah, man.
bro, like
Gotta go. I was talking to Blues about it. He was like, um, saying that he wanted to come to Canada. And I was like, we gotta go see Anubis in Montreal, but then we gotta go to Brazil. I feel like there's so many talented artists in Brazil.
dude,
Like
there
it's just
are.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like Brazil. Dude, Mexico too has a crazy fucking art scene,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's just like all of Latin and South America, bro. It's just like there's crazy shit happening over there. There's like, yeah, no, the tech that we have in NFTs now have just enabled them to actually put their art out to where we can see it like fully, and it's so great.
yeah. No, it's a blessing.
Like, so wait, hold on. What music do you listen to? I'm very curious now.
Um, oh man, damn. What music do I listen to? Maybe like,
I just put you on
well,
the
I
spot.
listen to. No, it's good. I listen to like, I'm gonna say the most whack. I listen to like folk music. I listen to a lot of like blues, like really old blues.
Yo, old blues is yo. Hey, you can't knock that, brother. That's a great shit.
No, it's fine. Um, and then more recently, just like I really like the way that music has evolved in like the last couple years in terms of like oh man, like artists like I'm gonna say like even Alex Headlam.
Alex
Frank
Lifeson.
Dory, like that's Alex. Um,
Oh, that's
and
oh.
then yeah, Frank Dory, and then someone called Mula Hooper, who's like I was just DMing with her the other day, and it's like I just love her music.
Mula
Um,
Hooper.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just awesome, and it's like so new, but it's so attached to like I think it's honestly it's like folk music or like hyper pop in some type of way. I don't like much hyper pop, but like
Mhm.
there's just like some artists who do it well that are like very small at the moment. But yeah,
I've listened to some of Alex's music, and it's just I like some of it. And it's like I get what you mean by I get what you mean exactly, because like like I essentially separated at some point. I discovered lo-fi and I discovered hyperpop and I
yeah,
discovered like this weird fucking hole on YouTube, right? Where it's like just like vaporwave and then you just get like slow and reverb genres and then it just like starts to combine all that shit together and like you realize like yo there is something happening in like the in the belly of the internet if you will that is just like creating like this musical monster, and then here we are now where it's I was listening to who was it, uh is it West Side Gun? um I think your voice is a bit low.
Oh, am I? Is it
Oh,
quiet?
no, it's good now. Yeah, and I
Okay.
was I was listening to Gunna's what is it? Um Give me a second. No, not might be Gunna actually. I gotta who Oh, it's West Side Gun. My bad. I just googled the wrong thing. I was
Yeah.
listening
Okay.
to that and like some of the sampling I was hearing, bro, and some of the stuff I was like, hold on, this is inspired like by the internet, and it was just
Yeah.
it was wild to me. It was I was
It
like, sorry, go ahead.
it's crazy. Some of these artists that are like big names, like even on the recent Kendrick album, the production on some of those tracks is like I feel like it's very, and it's not even, I'll say it's inspired by the internet, but it's like inspired by the best parts of how we continue on to evolve music, and just like using that in new ways, which is, what the internet does. But yeah, no, it's really interesting to see how like the bigger names do the same thing.
Yeah, and but it's yeah, and it's I think it's like when an artist uses like an Easter egg that you recognize that immediately brings you closer to the artist, right? Like, yo, we
Yes.
like the same thing. And it's just like, I remember listening to West Side Gunna's Right Now song and immediately hearing a vaporwave tune in the background. And like, it just like unlocked in my brain. I was like, hold on. All right, we good. I understand. I understand what's going on here. And it was just like crazy to be able to go back and see, oh, yeah, we might have listened to the same things or came across sort of some of the same musical inspirations or like musical liking, if you will, right? To where now it has fed back into his creation, and now I am now hearing its evolution, right? With
That's beautiful. Would you
right.
s- would you say you listen to like that vaporwave? Like what kind of music are you listening to recently?
Oh, so like my thing now is on YouTube, right? It's all like vaporwave. I don't listen to that much lo-fi anymore because it's changed. Well, it's not changed. It's remained the same, right? For
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
last 5 years, it's like the same cat with the girl, the same type beats, the same anime quote. So like
yeah.
I'm going to like slowed and reverb. I'm going to vaporwave because like I'm also realizing I'm saying the word like way too much. My English teacher in grade 7 would beat my ass right now. What the fuck? That's not proper English. Uh, um, essentially, like you realize lo-fi, right, stands for low fidelity sounds, right? And
Yeah,
it was built on taking sounds and just taking quality out of it to make it sound just like old, like a record player. But then it didn't evolve after that, and then vaporwave. which sort of evolved as this ethereal, slowed down version of songs that had a lo-fi element into it. Started to play into what lo-fi built, right? So like the quotes, the anime quotes, right? Like and also vaporwave in itself is built on internet culture, right? Like memes, internet,
Yeah,
like word art, which I fucking love, right? And all that jazz. And so it's just I'm going where the style has the internet. I call it post-internet style has been developing. Where it's just like now we're into like
mhm,
slowed and reverb genres of like very popular Kanye songs and Kendrick songs and all that that turn the songs into a low fidelity sort of song. Um, and then on the other side, you have lo-fi has started to get hybridized with house in this really nice way, and you're like, ooh, this is a very nice sort of sub niche, like a micro niche genre of an already micro niche genre.
that is, yo, that's exactly what it is though. It's like the most micro niches, and I think it's great because people can find like almost the perfect, you can find it the exact music that you vibe with. But after this, I'm gonna send you
Well,
some music, see what
please,
you think about it.
please, I'll share it. I'll share some of the music too in the to those listening. You'll find that link in the chat because we like music, and
Awesome.
it's just like, have you noticed? Well, I don't know. You've probably noticed this in the artists being made. I don't know if you've started to do this yourself, but the stuff we used to really like as kids, right, and heavily like the internet based stuff now has started to feed back into artistic creation in like
Yes.
in a really nice way where it's before I realized this when I was doing the edits, like some of my photo edits, because I was like, yo, let me just grab the Nokia handshake from the old brick Nokia phones, because like that's a
Yeah.
memory ingrained in my brain forever.
So
I don't.
this is
What's up?
I I almost feel like this is where like I feel like there's so many pop artists being born right now. Um,
It,
because like we're using culture and the
mhm.
past that we've lived through to like feed into our art and to like make certain feelings and emotions and to like force that on the viewer because we share this time. You know what I mean? So it's like I think it's like pop in a way or inspired by pop.
Yeah, yeah, like popular culture, absolutely, and it's also like you've noticed our connections are
Hmm.
to the stuff that we grew up with are and I'm starting to realize this a lot more now, right? Because of technology, are completely different than how artists used to make their connections in the past.
It
Well, it's
used to
not.
be
It's
very.
sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, no. I was just gonna say like it's not that separate in the sense where we still like you know our generation still has its muse within air quotation marks, right? But
Yeah.
it's no longer the academic artists of the Renaissance. It's like, yo, I really like anime, you know, and
No,
the
yeah.
the cool thing about it is now, like my teachers would hate, dude. You like, yo, I'm actually happy that. Well, this is actually a really good question. Have you ever sort of experienced any like backlash in high school drawing class towards like anime drawings and comic book drawings and all that, or no? Did you try to do this?
Yo, yeah, I did. I was like, one of the reasons anyway, I got into art
Mm.
is because I was trying to make a comic book.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, and that was almost like one of the biggest influences in terms of like me actually taking, the like the studying part of it seriously because I had to like find out how to make a comic book.
Mm.
So, and that included like writing and also like character design and all the different parts. But yeah, definitely got backlash for doing comics. I don't know if it might have been like early high school or like late middle school,
Mhm.
but I had teachers who were like, you won't be doing your own ideas as a comic book artist. You're going to be drawing other people's ideas. So it's almost like pointless. Or like I even had like other classmates be like, this isn't even art.
Yeah,
Like this is just illustration.
that's what. Yeah,
And I was like,
like dude, I had the
you know,
same thing. My teacher's like, like that's not fine art. I'm like,
yeah.
really? Are we like really? Because like yo, some of these digital painters can outpaint our asses in 10 seconds. Bro. He's like, yeah, but it's
Mhm.
still not fine art, and you're like, all right, bro, sure. However, right, the one thing I
It
noticed in
feels
this, what?
it just feels so like frustrating in one way because it's like, don't you see how like talking to teachers and stuff, it's like, don't you see how these things evolve? Like, you don't start with like the best product. No one ever does that, right? You start with the things that inspire you and you're passionate about. Uh, and you like build upon that. You build and you make something new because of it, because no one has the same passions. Or if you
Exactly.
do, it's like very niche, micro niche.
Absolutely, and it's also just completely disregarding, like you said, it's disregarding the artistic process of skill building, skill evolution. It's also disregarding the same process that the fine art world loves, which is hybridization, right? Because
Yeah.
if you look at Twitter now, like some of my favorite stuff is painterly looking, well, not painterly, it's painted anime, where you get to see the
Mhm.
oil paint drip, like, it's still the same big ass fucking stylized anime eyes. However, right, the shading is painterly. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just combines two stylistic choices that are so against each other in such a really nice way that it becomes extremely digestible, even to the, within air quotations, the fine art side or the fine art eye, you know, because
Yeah.
now is like, oh, like it's not digital now, bro. Like where's your anger now? Like the stylized eyes. Like we can talk about stylization and its subjectivity within air quotation mark, right? Because then when you complain to fine artists, sorry, like you probably noticed this too. It's like, it's like, but art is subjective, like that's, like I don't like digital art, but like that's my subjective opinion. And I'm, to those listening, I'm putting in quotation marks because you just want to throw hands with these people, I swear.
No, 100%. And like the further you go back, you could argue that you go a certain time back, and it gets less stylized and it gets more realistic. But then before that, it just gets super stylized. And it's like, what is the real purpose of trying to distinguish any of these things? This is just how like artists are dealing with the time that they're in. And there's actually no point in arguing against it. You
And
know, you're gonna be the dude that's trying to like stop a tsunami.
exactly. And it's also in complete disregard to a difference of popular elements in a different culture, you know?
Yeah,
Because like those fine artists, um, like, we hate commercialization, but then they'll play into these very sort of Western tropes and immediately and outright disregard, Japanese artistic, styles or tropes that you would find to be popular in Japanese media because they don't like it. But then they also tell you, yo, we need more diversity and we need to be a diverse group of people. It's like, all right, but like you cannot reject a whole medium and a whole sort of style coming from a country, right? We're because they also choose like um people love Japanese. I mean, my art school loved Hokusai and the Great Wave. That was like the Japanese fine art wave. You know, well, like that didn't stop, yo. That's been evolved. That's evolved into what you can typically classify as anime, and that now the fine artists in Japan are taking the anime sort of stylization and hybridizing it with fine art techniques, and you're getting the evolution of that, and then you're getting like the Yukio block artists that are now making Yukio styled, like chibi art, which it
yeah.
doesn't really, it's just like hybridization of the art and the culture, and then the fine art world just like, nah, that ain't fine art. And like, all right, well, I need to build upon it, and here we are in the space, and
Yeah.
I mean, you've like well. You haven't really noticed this because you didn't go to fine art, but it's like your utilization, right, of I spray paint, right, plays into some element of popular culture, but also
Yeah,
the
yeah,
underbelly of popular culture, right? Because of how spray paint is tied to like tagging you know, the just like the quick, funny, call me in the bathroom or whatever the fuck, but also you have the great, murals, for example. And so the fine art
And
world. Well, go ahead, my bad.
there's a lot of things that I utilize, and it's honestly I hate when artists say it's subconscious, but it's subconscious because I don't have like that fine art training where it's like
Mm.
a secure process everything I do. I would honestly say that I have that more with my grid style, just because I kind of like know what. But even these days, I'm experimenting with it a ton. But anyway, what I wanted to say is just that there's like tools that you pick up along your artist journey, and I like vouch for trying to break those tools as often as you can, uh, to try and like make it harder for yourself, because I think that's where you'll learn the most. And if you're really trying to become a great artist, it's like I don't care how much time it takes, honestly, as long as I'm trying to make it difficult for myself the entire time. Then I'm going to, I'm gonna be ripped at the end of the day, if that makes sense. But um, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just like, yeah, that's it.
it makes sense. And it also just speaks to like the consistency as an artist and the will, right, to just keep on building and all that, and just developing, right. And I really like
And
the.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
so
No, no, you go
uh,
ahead.
and it's also like it's okay to, like, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but it's like it's okay to fail as well, because like that is where frustration. That's where like I've had my best ideas, and I think that I can relate that to a lot of different artists I know.
Yeah, it's. I remember my fine art teacher, telling me like, boxes within limitation. There is a certain sense of freedom because you have to realize I have to work with what I have. There's no point, and I get this a lot because like there's no point in sitting and complaining about fuck I can't paint like a romantic painter.
Yeah,
Just learn how to paint. Like develop your style until one day you're gonna realize, yo, shit, I'm painting like a romantic painter. It's there's right, like you realize the tools that you have within the bounds in this box, and then you also, to your point, you'll pick up more tools, and then you're gonna, after a bit, you'll be able to take them apart and realize, oh, what can I do? Can I put these two tools together? Let's see, and that sort of thing.
exactly.
um, and I mean, your work is actually the perfect example of that because you like took the digital shit and you're like, oh, yeah, let me put it in my spray paint. Let me put it in some of my physical painting. Let me add the smooth painterly gradients, and it just worked, bro. It looks really nice.
Appreciate that.
I think, what is it? To those who are curious, I'm gonna have man in the wall. Probably it's gonna be in the middle, because that is, dude, man in the
Oh
wall.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That is such a
dude,
great
that
painting.
painting. Let me tell you, like I had no idea where it was going for. I don't even want to. So yeah, that was like, and that painting took like um 7. It was like 7 days, but it was like it looked like nothing what the finished product looked for like 5 of those days.
Really?
Uh, yeah, like nothing. Maybe just the green in the background, kind of like the wall tone. Uh, and then like all of a sudden, I was like, oh, this is what it's gonna turn into.
You just
And
you
that yeah,
were you like
yeah,
in the
that took
flow
like
process, and then it just like clicked, and you're like, ah, I know what I must do.
yeah,
Nice.
and that's what I like wait for that in a sense. And I get sometimes I get it's been more recently, I get pretty frustrated. I'm
Mm.
like, man, what am I gonna do? And I feel like, for me at least, part of the process is like just staring at the painting until like something makes sense. And that's what it took. But yeah, it's
That's
never,
great.
it's never concrete.
Oh yeah, it's actually crazy. I remember one of my teachers telling me. and I think I've said this on multiple artist talks where their favorite sort of paintings usually came from students' underpaintings or the phase of underpainting from students because you're allowed to make mistakes. You're in this like flow state that just went from one edge to the painting to the other. Some you didn't like, you just scratch it out, paint over it, boom, new like new area to paint over, and you're allowed such freedom. And then the cool thing about me is like you can if you pay attention to an artist painting and you watch their video, you get to see that click start to happen. Right, you legitimately can
Yeah.
in a few times you can like literally get to see an artist like wait hold on, they pause for a minute, they step back, you're like oh it's clicking, and then immediately they come back and like you realize their brushstrokes are much more deliberate. They're ironing out figures, like the figures just being put in super. You're like, oh, they got it, and it's like I really find that shit to, like when you see it, it's like the most fun thing because if you're an artist, I don't know. Have you ever noticed this? Like, if you're watching an art video, the art video itself of somebody drawing can put you in a flow state alongside with them, where you're just flowing with them in the art that they're creating. Have you
One
noticed?
hundred percent. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like seeing that in a video. It's like, yeah, you also start to figure it out with them. And you're like, oh, okay. To me, it's one of like that flow state. Legitimately, is one of the best art environment makers, if you will.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Do you know like Nicholas? What is it? Nicholas Aribe?
Nicholas, no, I do not.
He does. So he has a YouTube channel called Our Painted Lives. And they do like a paint. They do like a couple paintings every week live. So it's like an hour or two. But they are like it. Probably while I was self-taught, it was a huge inspiration for my more like traditional side. But now he's doing crazy paintings that I would say are like traditionally inspired, but completely out of his head. Uh, like he's not using reference or anything like that, which is just awesome.
I just went to his YouTube channel. He's yeah, it seems very traditional painting too. Or he's incorporating
Yeah,
the tradition. I see that palette, and you're like, yeah, that's a traditional painting palette. Holy shit, messy as
yeah,
fuck.
100. Yeah,
Oh yeah, no, I see. Sometimes I really get jealous of traditional painters, like really technically like well trained
yeah.
traditional painters, because they're under paintings, even if it's like a fucking shitty muck brown painting, looks
Mm.
so fucking nice, bro. It's like it has gradients. It's still loose as fuck, but
I know
I've
it's a
it's a. You were gonna say something?
uh, it's a piss off. Honestly, it's like it looks so good sometimes. But it's like I don't know. It's like I've kind of found this to be the case. It's like everyone's like all the sketches, it's the same reason I don't use like erasers anymore in my sketchbooks. It's like all the mistakes are just so beautiful, and if you learn how to use the mistakes, purposefully,
Mhm.
then some really interesting things can happen. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. And I think it's just I think it's also a response to like the overdevelopment of extremely realistic painting.
for sure.
Because
Yeah,
I mean, dude, I get this all the time. When I see somebody painting a hyper realistic something, I just want to go make like the most unrealistic fucking thing on the planet because it's just like, why? Like, why?
yeah,
Well, I understand why, but it's like in my head, the thought process, like, why achieve this such like level of extreme perfection that you're like antagonizing over? "Ooh, that doesn't look right." Or it's like if you put a mark down that's heavy enough, like sometimes the work becomes irreparable because damn, bro, that mark is way too big and too dark or too light. You have to try to fix it. And then you look at the art style that's slowly developing in the contemporary world with like figuration and shit. And it's
yeah,
just so loose. It's so broken. You can see mistakes, erasers. Like people literally leave some paintings purposely unfinished. It's a complete sort of different. It's like the exact opposite of like the technical style. But it also aims to utilize certain technical elements to it. Which
yeah,
I really think it really happens in your work. Like that's one of my favorite things is like you get to see like the use of certain technical elements and then just like being broken put back together, and then specifically the ones that you feed through like a digital lens and then put back again into a physical medium. You just get to see all
Mm,
of that. Like you get to see like the popular culture inspirations, what like what Bruno really likes as just like Bruno as an artist, and then the digital learning, and then also some of your like foundation, right, which is like good gradients and form and all that jazz.
dude, thank you. I appreciate that. Actually, I wanted to ask you, like, who are some of the artists, maybe on your journey or even just recently that you're like really looking at often, or you just love what they're doing?
Hey, man, there's a lot. That's I here. Let me ask you, like, what sort of,
Or yeah.
well, like, because like dude, you're talking. I have a lot of artists that I can also just like name out, but like, what sort of art are you personally sort of looking to develop, right? Because then I could give you like the most abstract shit, or I can give you figuration based stuff, or I can
Okay.
give you, right, and it just like, what are you sort of looking for?
Well, uh, I love like a lot of the artists in just in the making it chat, but like specifically artists that have their own voice,
Mm,
that's like indistinguishable from, so I really like yeah, of course Alex,
mm.
Finnegan. Dude, like I love your work, like seriously. And actually I've been trying to find like work that isn't. Hold up, I'm trying to look for. Where is this? Yeah, I've just been trying to look for like your work that I don't know how long you've had the Twitter, but you have like a ton. So I'm like trying to look for super old work of yours. But yeah, just I really like Alex. Yeah, Finnegan, Frank Dory, if you know him,
I think
really
I've seen
solid.
their work. You know,
Uh, Sorry, go ahead.
no, no, I was gonna say like, so the one thing I'll give you like a few people. I'll give you the names of a few people who've learned stylization pretty well. But the cool thing you'll
Yeah,
notice about Alex's work, right, is, and that's also sort of what's happening within your work itself. Um, is your Alex has a well, he doesn't have like I don't know if he has a university degree, but Alex, like he has his foundation in like traditional art drawing built,
sure.
right? And you have the same way where it's like, don't worry, your stylization will come. It's like you're building your a lot of these artists like Alec, right? They learned their foundation, they learned how to draw correctly, right? And they still practice how to draw correctly. But because
Yeah.
my dad literally used to tell me this all the time, because I used to get 1 pound Mickey comics, and he would tell me like, "Yo, do you know that all these Mickey comics, like the artists who made them, know how to draw like the most realistic humans?" And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, bro." As a child, but no, he's right. Like the only reason people were able to draw like Mickey Mouse is because they understood what made a body, how to draw it correctly, and then proceeded to break it down.
For
And
sure.
just
Yeah.
and so it's what is it, Robert? I think is it Robert something Kaufman? He's a really great painter from Germany. I'll send you the link later. Uh,
Okay.
His stylization is fucking insane, bro. He's studied, like, he's studied well enough, and he's built his technique to where now he's able to like paint with like pastel palettes, like weird colors, and it just looks very nice. Like he can put a head on a lion, and he's learned enough that his style just evolves into it.
Oh man, I feel like I know this artist.
You may have seen his work because it's it's like gone pretty trending a few.
And does he paint? He paints on like linoleum tile,
I
doesn't
think
he?
so. Maybe he may have paint.
Okay.
My phone isn't next to me. I don't know where. Oh, actually, I'll try to find him real quick on my phone. There's that. There is another person that does insane stylization. I shared it in the spaces we had yesterday. The artist is called. I'll go. I'll just go to my Twitter, and to those that are listening, I'll probably. I might forget this. I apologize if I do, but I'll probably try to include a link to the artists we're talking about. But if not,
Cool. Yeah.
I apologize. Please just quickly tag me, and I'll post the artists. Her name is Catherine Olshbar. Um, her stuff, dude, is essentially modern cubist paintings on like crack, if you will. Like she just managed to evolve that cubist look of figuration into like a very seamless type of painting, and then started to introduce like heavy gradient use and then just ethereal colors and like that level of stylization. Like I think you would really fuck with this given just like the gradients that you personally have employed in some of your actual physical paintings, you know.
Awesome. I will. Yeah, I will take a look. 100%.
I think I'll send the name. I sent the picture to just Chad. It's like, oh, I sent the picture without the name. Fuck, my bad.
Oh
but
wow,
yeah, it's like that sort of level of stylization is,
dude.
man.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's that. You also have like Egon Schiele. Like Egon Schiele is insane.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen the work of Egon Schiele?
dude. Huge inspiration in my drawing. Uh, yeah.
He's I wrote like 6 essays on the man. So in
Oh word.
university, it's like now I just don't read anything about Egon Schiele. I just look at his work because I'm like, I think I know the dude. He's my brother.
Yeah.
It's not really.
I love like oh, what is it? I never knew this how Klimt oh, what who did Klimt study with? Man. Oh, this is gonna drive me crazy.
Like, was it a
Dang.
thing? Was it a thing done with Klimt, or like did Klimt do it, or
Oh man, I can't even I won't even find it.
oh, okay.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think there's like a huge connection just between Egon Schiele and Gustav Klimt
Oh, dude,
in their
do,
yeah.
do you not? I think you sound like you don't know this. Do you not know that Klimt trained Sheila for like a few years?
Okay, so this is what I was yeah.
Yeah, Sheila trained under him for a few years. Like some of Sheila's early work are literally like you look at it, you're like the ghost of Klimt painted this. Although they're
Yes,
think alive at the
okay.
same time, they actually,
I didn't want to be, wrong about that, but that's what I was yeah.
yeah, I think they died on the same year actually.
Wow,
Or yeah, wow, oh, they died on the same year.
that's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
feel like
you feel like
I think Egon did a portrait of Klimt as well. Uh,
I think so. Here, let
wouldn't doubt.
me. eh, I think so. I'm pretty sure he did. Oh yeah, yeah. I just googled it. He did. It's very Egon Schiele like hybridized with a Klimt face. It's like right.
Yeah,
It's right as Egon Schiele starts to figure out how to fully start to disfigure faces in his way. You know, it's
I think
just
stylization just as like that's such a hard thing. You can't really even teach that. Um, like
you
and anyways, like a true version of it.
no, you really can't. Because I mean, I after this talk, I recommend you go look at some of Sheila's early work because you'll see Gustav Klimt's um, inspiration in his work, and then you get to see him pick what he likes from Klimt,
Mm.
and then proceed to disregard everything else, bro. Like it's one of that's why like one of my favorite things about Egon Schiele so much is like how fucked his figures look because of it's just like yeah, it's just like extreme stylization in like the most grotesque but visually appealing way that you're like, ooh,
Yes,
you know.
like the figures are like contorted and their hands are like, oh man, yeah. It's like they're going through like rigor mortis, but
Yep.
they're still alive. Crazy.
and I also recommend looking at Sheila's landscape paintings because the dude used to do landscape paintings and they're like so different. You're like, oh damn, Sheila, like these kind of weird, bro. They're just like, oh okay, bro, impressionist landscape paintings. Well, not really. Fuck, is it impressionist, bro? I'm blanking out on the movement Klimt was in. Wow.
I feel like yeah, they would be considered
Really? Is it?
um post impressionist,
No, art.
maybe express.
It's art. No, Klimt was Nuit Vu. My bad.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
yeah. Klimt was Nuit Vu. It's this space has. I've seen so many stylized hybridization that now
yeah,
I forget. Yeah,
yeah.
Art Nouveau is great, and it's also like the one thing you'll notice, and like I employ to those who have been listening, and to those who have stuck out for this long, because we've been talking for an hour. um, like your work is slowly getting its own style, right? Because you say, oh, I've done the foundation, I've done my figure drawing, my life drawing, right? So you already have that in your belt, and then you're again, like I keep hammering on like your physical paintings because it's like, to me that's legitimately where sort of I can see your style fully develop, where you're taking your digital works and like the grid like
Yes,
stuff,
sure.
and then essentially building on top of what you also like in spray painting, just like cool figuration. And then, as you train yourself more, because, to those listening, Bruno's fucking 20, which I am still in shock of, sir. It's, yo, man, like you're building a very nice style. You're building a sort of, I see this becoming like a powerhouse in the future just because of
Wow,
how, dude, like how nice and dynamic it is. Like, are you a fan of Radiohead at all?
dude. Yeah. I feel like I've tried like every single different route you can take, just regular or popular culture. I feel like
Hmm.
I've gone through every. I was like emo. I was freaking punk. I was like, maybe not as much like rich prep, but I had my own. Anyway, but yeah, just like, yeah, no, I'm definitely a fan.
Because, like, dude, I remember, like, one of the reasons I really love your digital works too is Kid A being one of my favorite Radiohead albums of all time. Like,
Mhm.
decided to like like the style of the art of Kid A is like so purely digital, but also employs like the feelings of non-digital elements so well, right? And it's like stuff is pixelated, you're seeing grids, you're seeing early 3D programs trying to render, and like that when I look at your work, it sort of starts to employ the same sort of like aesthetic elements that you can find present within like Kid's work. Because like Radiohead's style, artistic style, has evolved. Because what is it? It's Tom York and somebody Donwood. Here, like the Radiohead art to me has also inspired like my liking for certain things, to where I'm really drawn to your work because like I can envision this a little bit also being in a Radiohead sort of, or like a Radiohead world, if you will.
Love
You
it.
know,
Yeah,
I'll I
definitely.
no, go ahead.
De- Definitely like because I'm doing like those same same style kind of thing, like the abstract uh grid works that I've been posting recently. Like one was I just posted like yesterday.
The car,
It's
is it the car?
no, it's called Open Season.
I
It's
think
it's on my Twitter.
it's on
It's
open season here. Let me go quickly. Oh yeah, I was looking at that too. That looks very nice, sir.
I would say like that's that might be. I'm doing prints of a lot of works that are a bit more abstract, like that, and I kind of want to, I want to take my figures and put them in those type of worlds,
Dude,
uh,
that
or
actually,
I'm,
dude, that actually looks amazing, bro. What the fuck?
Thank you. Or like,
Yo,
I'm gonna send you this just on Discord. This isn't out or anything yet. It's a collab between me and
hey,
Tamar.
yo.
Tamar Cycles.
Nah, bro. Okay, yeah, no, sir. So the one picture I can't show, the other one is gonna be on one of the sides. Yo,
Okay.
dude, this is actually like, man,
Yeah.
I can literally I can give you like 20 minutes of praise over this. I won't because people will literally stop listening. But it's like, dude, this is actually like this is oh man, you don't understand how much I really love this sort of style because it's like Radiohead, but for me. It's like it's so
I'm
into
very
you. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm like just super excited to like explore more of this kind of like this voice. Like for me it feels like the things I love about like early 2000s like Murakami or like how you kind of like build these symbols and characters and they become like fine art, you know,
Yeah,
mascots. Uh so I'm excited about that for sure.
yeah. I'm excited for it too, cause like Radiohead, man, I keep mentioning Radiohead a lot, but the picture I just sent you will tell you why a little bit. But essentially, they developed the style, but then they just like left off after Kid A that has now come
Wow.
back, but it's come back with the aid of the internet just like developing on its own for the last 20 years, where it's like because we've
Yeah,
been
that's
around,
crazy.
right? It's that's like, and to those who are wondering, like, what did I just show Bruno? I just showed him the Kid A album cover, which
That looks
is
so new too, which is crazy.
right, dude. That I think is like when did Kid A come out? Kid A came out in 2000, October 2,
Okay.
2000.
That's
That's 22 years old. Holy shit.
crazy.
Um,
That's crazy.
yo, it's but like right, it still feels like it came out today, and it's like Radiohead tapped into this like internet subconscious developing for like a few albums and then they dropped it off and then they're starting to touch back on it again with like their exhibition now. But
Yeah.
somehow some of the stuff they messed with was also developing on its own, just like in on the internet between just kids like us growing up, because literally the same things that are happening with like Radiohead work. And like to those who are listening also, Radiohead's artistic works are not like an album cover. No, no, they actually like there's an artist, like the lead singer Tom York is friends with Stanley Donwood, who's also an established fine artist, and like they make actual paintings for their shows. Like a lot of artistic process and artistic thought
Wow.
goes into the creation of this stuff, right? It's just not like, yo, hire the kid at the end, like, yo, we need somebody to make a quick album. No, no, like there have been exhibitions based on this because technically you would classify as this, and I hate to do it because I shitted on it for like we've been shitting on it for like the last 30 minutes, right? But you would classify it as fine art. And so
Yeah.
they really touched on something that then just happened to be developing on its own, and your work to me like is employing the same elements they touched on, but now you are a 20-year-old man, right? You're not a kid, so you're able to actually execute on what you want to further develop, and we get to see an evolution of that too, right?
That's probably, and I actually wasn't aware entirely of that, everything about that with the Radiohead. So it's really interesting. It actually, that Kid A, that cover reminds me of one artist I'm good friends with, Josh Medak, and he's a photographer. Uh, but yeah, so sorry, anyway,
No, no, it's Josh Medak. Hey, shout out to Josh Medak. He better listen to this, or we're gonna break into his house and like steal his
facts,
photos. Yeah, that's facts.
very true. And his cameras, I want all his
And
cameras.
his cameras.
But yeah, like I'm just excited because I feel like there's so many young artists where, and you mentioned this earlier. It's just like these artists who are staying
Mm.
in this space, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm just so excited, and we're in terms of how artists' careers go, still insanely young. So I'm just excited for, to see these careers bloom.
You know, bro, I'm excited to see what you're gonna do, dude. 20 years again to those who are listening. 20 years old. We're gonna go. We might throw hands when I see you, bro.
Let's do it. Nah, I'll
Bro,
give you a fat bear hug.
dude, yeah, like you actually took me out. Like when you said, "Yeah, I'm just," I was like, "Oh shit, fuck, no, no," just man, because yeah, your work is really touching on something that's just it's very it is developing present or is it is currently developing as we speak actively by you and other artists in the space. It's not like somebody trying to like paint renaissance paintings or stuff. No, you're actually developing something that's happening now, right? You're far more present in your artistic creation than others, like in its time of creation, if you will, you know. um
I heavily appreciate it. Yeah, I can't say thank you
yo man.
more.
Dude, well, thanks for coming on, brother. We have been talking for an hour and a bit, and I'm pretty sure people are like, yo, I gotta go look at this art more. And so I've included your Twitter, your foundation, and your
Cool.
Instagram in the description. Uh, what is it? If you have any other links, or actually also when you set up your website, send me that so I
Yeah.
can go back and add it into the description. So in case somebody's watching this in the
Okay.
future, your website can be there.
Perfect.
And then
Yeah.
this,
That should be up in like a week or week and a half.
okay, hell yeah. And so I usually, I to those listening, I know artist talks usually go up on Thursday, but we sort of haven't had one for a month because I've been super busy with VCA. But now that's done. I'm just gonna like finish this, and this will probably be uploaded tomorrow. So on Saturday, May 21st, this will probably go live, which would be nice because then it gives people some on Saturday to listen to, and the Metakey to enjoy their coffee to this
Sick.
talk. um, but yeah, your links are in the description, sir. To those listening, go follow him on Twitter. Go bid on the foundation pieces. Um, go put the
Yes.
notifications on so you know when he drops a manifold. Because you know we out here in Web3 and shit. In the what is it? Mocha has the best joke. You know, we're doing great things in the intersectionality of technology and art, and we are in the middle of intersectionality and in the intersection of technology and art. Wow, I really just destroyed that phrase, bro. That
That was awesome.
oh yeah, I think like I'm starting to realize I might be legitimately dyslexic, but I don't have a word. I don't know what the word is for like being dyslexic if you can't if you're not even reading the fucking thing. I wasn't reading it. It just got fucked in my brain, bro.
Oh man.
But yeah, go follow Bruno, guys. Go buy his art. I will see you in the intersection of art and technology. Yo.
Oh damn, dog. Uh,
Yo, Bruno, thanks
Thanks for
for
your
coming.
news.
Dude, thanks for
Yeah.
coming for real. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.